Welcome back to the Constitutional Podcast. The Constitutionals Podcast. I'm your host, Chad White. If you didn't know, this is the premier podcast for the website cpluscomedy.com. Like I just said, it's a website. Go there. Welcome back. This is episode 392.5, I believe. Listen. You'll notice I made a mistake. I made a mistake when I said the name of the show in the middle of the theme song. Oh, I should stop doing the read out live, but it's what I'm trained to do. Oh my gosh. How ridiculous. How ridiculous is it that I've been doing C plus comedy stuff for 13, it'll be 13 years. When does this come out? Okay, hold on. I'm recording this early. I'm recording this intro early. So this comes out maybe a week before the 13th anniversary. Isn't that wild? I know if you've listened to the last couple of interviews, I've been mentioning the anniversary. It's coming up. It's because I don't have anything big planned, but I definitely do want to do something. So it's at the top of mind. Is that all right? Just like Hall & Oates once sang, "Your kiss is on my list." The birthday is on my list. Also your kiss. Okay. Well, am I done riffing? All right. Let's get to it. I've got an interview with a very funny comedian. He's got a new special out. It's called Risk Taker. His name is Nick Guerra. I know I'm pronouncing that right because I saw a clip of him on Gabriel Iglesias' stand-up revolution from Comedy Central. That's right. This guy was on Comedy Central. He's done stand-up specials. You know what? This is very interesting to people who care. I was before I set up this interview, I saw that this special was coming out, and then I went, okay, let me go look this guy up. Looked him up. Saw a clip of him on The Tonight Show. Clicked on the video. I already liked the video when it came out 10 years ago. So it was already sitting in my liked video playlist. I have a couple of playlists specifically for late night stuff. And one of them is stand-ups. And it's just full of unfortunately, this does not happen a lot anymore in late night. And I promise I'll get back to Nick in a second. This does not happen a lot anymore in late night because there's just no money and there's no time. But you see Fallon bring in stand-ups every so often now. I believe he's like the last one to do it. Late night used to do it. Seth Meyers used to do it. Conan used to do it when he was on. Conan used to do it a lot. I don't know if Kimmel has ever done it. And Colbert did it every so often. Who else? Who am I forgetting? I don't know if Arsenio Hall did it. Jay Leno did it. Letterman, I believe. Yes, Letterman definitely did do it. Anyway, you just don't see a lot of stand-up anymore. Now it's like musical acts, and even still, that's been trimmed down a little bit. If I recall, Kimmel was down to, I believe, one musical act a week now or something like that. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. I could definitely talk about that all the time. And I do on a show called Late Night Lately, the Late Night Show. That's a different podcast. And sometimes on the Constitutionals proper. But anyway, we're here talking about Nick Guerra. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry to his representation. I'm sorry to Nick. I'm sorry to his fans for taking so long. As I mentioned, Nick has a new special out that's called Risk Taker. And what you'll learn in this interview is that it was one of multiple specials shot that night. And it's fascinating because, you know, if something is happening, if there's multiple specials being shot in a night, more than likely the audience is not there for you. And Nick gets into that, how he was. I'm not even going to ruin anything because it's fantastic and fascinating. So very interesting. I'm not kidding when I say this. What he decided to do with his set when he figured out that this audience what they'd already seen, what they'd been through, what they dealt with prior, where they were at that point in the night. Oh man, it's fascinating. He also has a couple of other specials out that you can check out after you check out Risk Taker. He has a dry bar special, which is, just again, it's amazing how comedians can go from one world of clean to another world of not clean. He has another special called That's Love. This guy's a journeyman comedian. It's something that you don't see a lot of anymore, is that someone can be just a comedian and doing stand up and make money that way. But this guy's touring, he's putting out specials like crazy. If you look at the timelines of these, I will tell you right now, these timelines are tight. I don't know if I could write a special in 2 years. I'm also not good at writing jokes. I like Nick. I'm glad we had this conversation. What if I was like, I don't like that guy. This was a waste of my time. So check out Risk Taker over there on Comedy Dynamics. Our friends at Comedy Dynamics, not my friends. Never met them. Actually, have I? I don't know. I don't remember. I've talked to a lot of people. I don't know if I've met them. Probably. And then head to his website and go on YouTube and just type in Nick Guerra and see all the different things that he's up to and all these specials and everything. Oh, he's performing in Las Vegas. Oh, by the time this comes out, it'll be over. I'm sorry. But it looks like you can find his stuff on Spotify alongside every other comedy thing that he's done. That's cool. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I'm on Spotify. Look at all this stuff, man. Oh, he's put out a lot more than what I thought. Oh man, that's so much. Oh, that's right. You mentioned early show. Okay. I'm sorry. I'm just talking to myself. Hey, check out Nick, Risk Taker. You can also follow him on Instagram at Nick Comedian. Wow. What a handle. That's funny. I love that. It's just right there. Go to his website, nickguerra.com. I hope it's okay I'm pronouncing it like that because that's the way Gabriel Iglesias pronounced it on that clip. And look, if you want to see a video version of this interview as well as the other interviews that I've done, most of the interviews, you can go to youtube.com/C+comedy to watch all that. You can also check out the other podcasts there, Late Night Lately, the Late Night Show, and there's a monologue now, and LinkedIn Logs, the jobs and business news podcast. Subscribe to those shows wherever your podcasts. Follow us on social media at C+comedy on TikTok, Instagram, Blue Sky, and YouTube. Me on those platforms at Chad Blackwhite. Thank you so much for listening. And now, check out the very funny, the very engaging, the very charming Nick Guerra. I had to reacclimate myself with your comedy, so I was looking at some earlier stuff, and boy, that hair has
Oh,
changed.
yeah, it did. Yep. The original haircut, the long hair was just because I didn't want to pay for a haircut, and it just happened to land all right because I was just being frugal to try to not spend any money.
Yeah. And look, some people look better with long hair. I know I do. I hate having short hair, and I keep everything nice and high up top, and sometimes
Yeah,
the edges are sanded down. But other than
yeah,
that,
yeah, yeah. Sometimes if you could pull it off, it's great.
yeah. I don't think I could pull off the long, luscious locks that you had, though.
No, I didn't think I could pull that off. I didn't even know how that happened. I tried to grow it out again. I went to my typical place to go get my haircut, and I was like, yeah, I had it a little bit long. I was like, just clean it up. And then they did this. I was like, all right, well.
Oh, well, shit. Look at that. Hey, man, congratulations on Risk Taker. I
Oh,
know
thank you.
that you've put out a couple of specials in the past few years, but this is like something big and new, and hopefully, in this newfound world of comedy of stand up, people can discover it because you have a company like Comedy Dynamics just putting out just great shows over and over and over again. I just want people to like be able to see it and laugh.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, it was an exciting offer, that when it happened. The funny thing is that I tell people the allure of that special is if you ever want to see what it's like to be a comedian on a late Saturday night show where you're not even sure if the audience is there for you, that's the special to watch. That's because that's exactly what happened. It was filmed way late. I was the fourth filming that day.
Damn.
And it was filmed in a club that was beautiful but very hard to find. I
Mhm.
had one fan in the audience
Wow.
that found the place. Everybody else was kind of filled in. People were making out during the special.
Oh
So
God.
like a typical Saturday night at a club,
Yeah.
Some people were wasted.
Yeah.
They sat. The one of the crew members told their friend who was on a date to, you should bring your date out to this comedy special taping. It'll be fun. And then they sat the crew member in the with them in front. So it was really, to me, it's like in this era of all these polished specials in front of thousands of fans where everything looks great. I was like, this is probably um to at least from what I know, the most authentic feel of like this is what comedians have to deal with constantly.
Yeah. I think
So
that's a
I
good thing for people to see.
Yeah, and they let me put in I did a whole thing where um I had the editors film little sketches of them commenting on the special as it went on to kind of just give it back that old school comedy special feeling of like kind of meta joking about itself,
Yeah.
you
What?
know?
So it feels like the cards were, to borrow this old phrase, were stacked against you. Like everything was against you. But in the amount of that I've seen of the special, it seems that you came out on top because I was
Yeah.
laughing at home. I think that's
Oh,
it's
good.
important for the audience, there obviously to enjoy it. But I was laughing at home because you still. I wouldn't have guessed that night was so busy and a flutter with different things happening because you still delivered, you were still professional and did everything that was important that a comedian does. And in that, you told jokes, you didn't blame it on the audience, and you just kind of worked.
And that's it, I'm a big believer that 90% of stand-up is survival. It's you learn how to survive on stage. The initial idea is you say something that the audience isn't going to agree with. That's what a true stand-up does. I'm going to say something that you don't particularly agree with, whether you don't see it now or it's just a different way of looking at a situation. But I will convince you through punchlines and through my insight on why this is right or why you should at least allow this thought to happen. And I think that's some of the best comedy, And that night, it was a different kind of survival. It was like the
Yeah.
skills of someone saying, I see the situation. I was supposed to do a clean set. I knew that that wasn't going to happen.
Mm.
I tried doing the clean jokes and the audience was just kind of like, yeah, because they had already seen three other comedy specials that
Yeah.
weren't clean. So they're like, okay, we're not really here for this. So I just threw away the set that I had planned and said, all right, I'm going to do a show. That's what I'm going to
Wow.
do.
Wow. And at that point, or prior to, the decision to throw away the clean set and just do the regular show, were you comparing it to the dry bar set that you'd done before? Were you just thinking that it's going to be a similar thing? Because I assume for dry bar, even those people don't know that who you are, and they just want to see comedy in general too.
Yeah. So the difference with the dry bar special is that they're there for the event of the dry bar special. The audience at that time, they understood what they curated because they were dry bar audience members. It's so funny because like I think the first two seasons of dry bar specials, the audience was excited to have, this event happen and they were really like, oh my God, stand-up comedy in Ogden, Utah. I think that's where it was filmed. Like which is very hard to get to. No, that's only caffeine. They don't drink. No, you can't even say God. You have to, like, oh my God, you couldn't say that. It had
Wow.
to be G rated, right? Um, then by the time I filmed my special, the audience knew their power because they had created superstars in the first few specials that came out. So they were like, okay, we know we're the audience, so make us laugh. But the good thing was is that they filmed two shows, they edited nice together. I knew exactly what to do, and they went in there expecting clean comedy. So I was like, okay, I got this.
Mm.
This one, it was one show, one shot.
Mm.
And like I said, I think the audience was more, hey, are we gonna get our parking validated?
Wow. For Dry Bar, since they knew their power, uh, how long did it take for this to come out? For that one to come out? Because I know that for some people, it takes like 5 years. It takes like 3 years. It'll be a couple of months, but I know it differs, and just so they have like a regular output of specials.
Yeah, mine came out pretty quick, I believe.
Okay.
I think it was still fairly catching up to itself, and it wasn't what it is now. Where like you said, they just kind of stacked up specials waiting to release. I can't really tell you how quick the turnaround was, but it wasn't more than a year.
Hmm.
Yeah, it
It,
was a
we're
great time. It was fun. It was
okay.
something exciting to be able to pull off because typically I am a R-rated comic. In fact, when I went back to those venues in Utah, they had to put a note on the show that this is not a G-rated show. So it was like, all right, but it was an accomplishment to me to say, okay, I could do it.
Mhm.
You know,
Yeah, I like Dry Bar because it's a fascinating concept. There's also I don't know, I think it's like BYU Television. They put out sketches on their YouTube channel, and if I watch enough SNL, then that's recommended to me, and I watch that. And you'll see like Will Forte or Jack McBrayer in those sketches, and they're very funny, and it does prove that. And I hate to say that Bill Cosby was right, but you don't have to curse during a set. It's a,
no, no, no.
yeah. Yeah, it's fascinating that comedy, I think, can is like one of the things that can translate across all languages and all barriers of life. Something can be funny for truly everybody.
Yeah, 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 exactly. It is like you said, clean comedy can definitely be just as enticing as any blue kind of comedy if it's done right. I typically I tell people because they would ask me how do you write it? I'm like, look, I write the clean joke pretty much first, knowing it's going to go dirty, and then when I do clean shows, I just don't tell the dirty part.
I like that. That's a very good approach. I'm not a very good joke writer myself. I tried, and it's just I can't come up with any premises or anything like that. But that's very fascinating that you just go. I'm not going to add in the fundamental part of the dirty part of the joke. That's so very funny.
That's it. You're just like, all right, there's more. In my mind, I'm like, I know there's more to this joke. This audience is they're not going to get it. They're not going
Yeah.
to get the more. If they come see me at a regular venue, then maybe they'll get the full dirty version of the joke.
Yeah, imagine you're a touring comedian. Like imagine someone who just happens to be on vacation and you're like in New York and they go, "Oh, I want to go see comedy." Like, "Oh, I know this guy." And then they
Yeah.
go see you and they're like, "Oh my God, he's so it's disgusting. How dare he?"
I hope so. Well, luckily it's not disgusting. Like that's the thing. There's like I think I'm considered I can be a dirty comic. I use bad words and subject matter, but I'm not vulgar. Like
Mhm.
there's vulgar, there's dirty, and dirty is usually just cursing. Vulgar is like you're saying something to disgust the crowd.
Yeah.
So I think they find that balance. And I've had that where people come see me where they've seen me somewhere completely different than they've come to my show. And uh, I wonder sometimes, I'm like, was this what they expected?
But I don't know.
Yeah.
I saw that pullout joke and I was like, "Oh, this guy is like insane."
And that was done, you know what? That was done last minute on the set because, it was like, I'm trying to, I kept saying throughout the taping, I'm like, all right, we're gonna land this plane. Here we go. And I was like, you know what? I think there was a point where I'm like, where am I at? And they gave me the time. I was like, oh no, I still got more time. So I was like, all right, here we go.
I guess I have to pull this. I have to put this one out.
Put this one out there, right?
Oh man.
I'm always fascinated by the technique of stand-up. I did an album probably a few years ago called Early Show, Late Show. And the idea was, again, I like to have ideas behind my recordings.
Hmm.
So Risk Taker was, this is what a real stand-up comedy club set looks like compared to polished specials. Early Show, Late Show, it was filmed in, or it was recorded in Dallas because it's an album. And so the early show part of the CD is the first 30 minutes is a completely clean 30, right?
Wow.
The second 30 minutes is so it's that's the early show. Early show's G-rated. Second 30 minutes is basically the same show, but all of the dirty jokes. So you can see, other than the first intro, the first maybe joke, everything is different, but that was to show the idea of like this is an early show, this is a late show, this is a clean set, this is a
Yeah.
dirty set, and this is who I am. I
Wow.
can do both.
That's amazing. I've always harped on the idea that I don't think everybody should do this, but I do think that we are at a moment in time where I would love to see, in the sense, obviously, since I talk to people like you, I always get the creative ideas behind the process and everything. And your process is in particular very interesting because you are showing the skeleton of how you make your comedy, at least the backbone of what some of your specials and records are about. I love behind the scenes stuff, and people love behind the scenes stuff, and that's what these
Yeah.
conversations are supposed to be about. It's fascinating that you have this record out that has two different dichotomies about your comedy, and then also Risk Taker is a good example of, like you said, doing what a comedian really deals with when it comes to coming up and doing half an hour or 45 minutes at a comedy club. That's spectacular, and I wish there was a way for people to really get that without, you having to come on an interview and be like, this is what's happening. Because imagine if you watched The Odyssey with Christopher Nolan and he was like, Matt Damon is really Jesus, just
Yeah,
just something like that.
yeah. And that's it, like and as I put these things out in my mind, it's exactly that. I'm like, I wish there was a way I could explain to people uh my thought process. Because for me, it's like don't put out something just to put it out. They all have to have a reason. um, or at least have a little bit of fun in it to where it's like, okay, whoever really dives into the idea of this set, this special, this whatever, they will learn, through interviews or if they find things online that there was a different intent
Mhm.
behind this recording, you know, and yeah, with the Risk Taker, that was very much once it was all said and done, I was like, I know the angle that I want to go with this. And I was so grateful that the production company, super nice guys, were on board 100% for it.
Mhm.
They were like, sure. They let me give the intro. I typed out this big, just title screen that would fade in an era where comedians perform in front of arenas filled with thousands of fans. There's still one comedian that's willing to do it in front of an audience that doesn't know him. Then it cuts to me, and that's that they let me make fun of this situation itself, which,
Yeah,
a lot of productions, they want it to all be slick and hip and look like and I was like, no, I want it to look like the possible mess it is. There's another comedy special, I think it was Tony Roberts, and it's called Unwired.
hmm,
And in the middle of his set, he has his mic, is what they hook you up with a mic
yeah,
for your special, and his wire comes completely because he's moving around so much in the middle of the set. The crew has to come and fix him, and they left that in there, and
I
it
love that.
really showed who he was. This. big act out guy, not even, yeah, okay, you could put a little mic pack on me, but it's gonna come undone.
Yeah.
And I
That
like that. I like when comedy specials stay, or the David Tell set where he did it four different comedy clubs. Even the Chris Rock one where he did four different cities
yeah.
to show the idea of like this is what, this is kind of how the behind the scenes in a way without ruining people's idea of stand up. You know, uh, Let me show you behind the curtain a little bit. I guess if that makes sense. Sorry, it's my first
No.
cup of coffee.
No, 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 no. You're fine. That's perfect and that's lovely and that's why we're here to get into the minutia of this. Now,
Yeah,
something else I also noticed is when I was looking over your specials is for Dry Bar and That's Love, you were dressed up. And then
yeah.
for Risk Taker, you were in something a little bit more casual and that kind of I think if you came into Risk Taker with a suit on, the same thing you wore to Dry Bar, that audience definitely would not have been on your side. But it seemed
No,
like you were part of them when you came out in a cool jacket and some jeans and a t-shirt.
yeah, and that is also strangely purposeful. It's like okay, I needed to feel like a different vibe, to come off a little bit more, like you said, a little bit more relatable. And yeah, Dry Bar at that time. Wearing a suit, now every now and then I'll still do it. It's very rare because quite honestly, airlines have lost my suits, and that's why I stopped wearing suits.
Ooh, wow.
But when the occasion arises, I have no problem putting on a suit. And any comic that says, "Oh, I can't wear suits," I'm like, get it tailored. That's all you got to do. You know, don't just go buy a suit. Get a suit, get it tailored, and then all of a sudden it fits perfectly, and then you'll be able to wear a suit. But yeah, so the suit came from the fact of like I looked so much younger uh, when I was kind of really bubbling up. And there was this old headliner. It was like, if you want the audience to respect you, especially these older audiences, wear a suit. And I was like, all right. So I did it. And I felt the power and the authority of having a suit on. All of a sudden, I'm the sharpest dressed in the room. So
Right.
the audience is like, we need to listen to this guy, subconsciously. And I remember doing a show in Philadelphia where there was this guy that was decked out as nice as he was, and he came up to me. He's like, "I thought I was going to be the nicest dressed here, and then you came on stage." Like, hey, but it did give me a different type of swagger on stage. So for those two, is like, okay, I want to wear this suit because I like it, and I like the feel of presenting myself.
Right.
This one, it was like, this is really who I am now.
Yeah.
Still just coming off a little casual. Like you said, it can be a turnoff in some places when somebody just shows up in a suit.
Well, you could just start wearing suits to fly. That's how this great presidential administration they want us to dress up again, put on a nice
Oh, I
suit.
know. Oh my God. Yeah, yeah. Oh, you guys got to dress. No more pajamas, which, hey, I get the no more pajamas.
Yeah, yeah.
But I wear sweats all the time when I'm flying. I know, man. It's like the idea of trying to control someone's attire. Well, it's un-American. I don't know if we want to get into.
No, it is very un-American, but
Yes.
yeah, they want to bring back smoking on planes and doing pull-ups. If that's still a thing, doing a workout at the airport. Do you remember hearing about that?
No, 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 no.
Oh,
Like a
yeah, they
gym.
wanted.
Oh, yeah, you know what? I did they used to have gyms at the airport?
Well, I don't think that they used to. I think that's what the current air traffic guy wanted. It's like he wanted like put like you to wear a suit, and then also in case
Also,
you need to work out there, go to a room with like a gym or something. I don't know entirely.
and it's such a, I mean, the idea of that even happening is like, okay, well then get rid of TSA, and then we'll have enough time to go work out because
Yeah.
at this point I got to get, so what? I got to get global entry, TSA pre or clear in order to make it into this lounge area, in order to
Hmm.
work out, in order to shower,
Yeah.
you know.
It's what a stupid thing to suggest. Well, speaking of the world around us, Gabriel Iglesias. I'm gonna lead back to this. I got this. Don't
Yeah,
worry.
sorry, sorry,
Gabriel.
sorry.
No, I'm kidding. Gabriel Iglesias. When you did his show on Comedy Central, what was that like? That's got to be
Oh
something
my
special
God.
to do.
That weekend. So it was filmed in a over 3 days in Fort Lauderdale, and I did season two. And the all the people that came through. Trevor Noah had just really came over to the States around
Mhm.
that time. Comedy Central was courting him, but he hadn't even gotten the Daily Show yet. So he was part of that. Gabriel, of course, was there the whole weekend and all his friends. So it was like I found a way, me and my buddy Dustin Ibarra found a way to stay all 3 days by
Wow.
crashing into other people's hotels and just had a blast. So it was one of the most fun weekends uh in comedy for me,
Man.
especially at that time. And you're just around all these funny guys partying every night after everybody films, and you get to see all your favorite friends and also all these phenomenal comics. And it was at the Hard Rock Casino Fort Lauderdale Improv, which was just a big playground for
Whoa.
things. So it was one of the most exciting things. The intro music, the band Ozone Motley, they made intro music based on what you wanted. And I guess, they were like, well, what kind of style do you want? And I was like, I don't know, give me like a Marilyn Manson type of thing. And they got excited because they'd never been asked to make their version of that.
Yeah.
So they made that intro for me, and it was fun to just kind of see it uh, all come together. And I'm forever grateful for Gabriel for doing that. Then he put me on the DVD box, so I was like, all
Whoa. Do you
right.
have the DVD?
Yeah, I do. Let me see. Let me see if I can find it. Uh, you know, just it's just like one of the pictures right there. Boom,
That's
boom.
so funny.
But yeah, it's the Stand-Up Revolution season 2. And I remember my buddy Alfred, he's like, hey man, did you see the DVD? I was like, all right. And it's Gabriel, Martin, and me, and then the band. So it's it's like I made the cut out of all those comics to get put alongside. So it's a fun little thing, like, wow, that's nice.
That's prime real estate too, because
Yeah.
yeah, I'm like I have a collection of DVDs, like hundreds and hundreds of DVDs, and every time I look at, I just picked up. It's funny you mentioned Marilyn Manson. His music video is on a movie called Not Another Teen Movie, and
Okay.
I have two versions of that, and I was looking at that DVD today. And on the cover is like Chris Pratt and Jamie Lee and all these different people. It's so funny.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, it was a nice little still now it's a cool thing to see yourself like put onto that. Whoever agreed to that cover art, God bless him.
Now, are you a fan of Batman? Because I see a couple of
Oh
Batman
yeah, man.
comic books.
Yeah. Boom.
That's
Yeah.
funny.
Yeah.
What's your have do you read or do you watch the movies or cartoons or anything?
I need to read more. Well, when I grew up, when I was younger, my cousin had this big, thick book of all basically republished the entire beginning series of Batman. So it was all the old comics, and I would read through that. And yeah, every now and then I would get some comic books. I do have some, but I was never a big comic book guy. I wouldn't want to take away their glory for the guys that are good at it.
Yeah.
And of course, the movies. 1989's Batman was probably it's just one of those phenomenal moments in pop culture that
Yeah.
you had to love Batman. Then the animated series came out, and I have like a book, Batman and Philosophy, and it breaks down how you could look at philosophy through the different characters of Batman characters. I got the Batman handbook. But with that all being said, I'm probably, still about in the top 50% of Batman fans. I'm not in that top 1%. I don't know him that well.
Hey, that's fair enough. As long as it seems like you're a real fan of Batman. I mean, at least you can name his parents, you know where they died, and that's the most important part because they
Yeah.
keep showing it over and over again.
I won a radio contest when I was a kid. It was when Batman Forever came out. I believe that's the one with Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Hmm.
And my dad was listening to the radio and I was asleep. And he comes in my room. He's like, "Hey, what's Alfred or what's Batman's butler's last name?" And I was like, Pennyworth. And I fell back asleep. And then he came in later. He's like, we got tickets to go see the screening of
Wow.
Batman Forever. And it was a great core memory because, I was supposed to go to school that day. And my dad's like, nope, we want tickets. Let's go see Batman.
And is that your favorite one? I know you said 1989. It's a seminal point in history, but Batman Forever, I think, gets looked over because it's campy and it's not campy in a way that Batman and Robin is. But I like Batman Forever because it introduces so many different elements of what I get. I think like Spider-Man Brand New Day is coming out in a couple of days,
Yeah.
so it introduces exactly what a current superhero movie is in that there's all these different characters from the comics that people
Yeah.
know or the TV shows. And I think that's very important because I don't want to see a superhero or a comic book movie that just hints at things. I want to see all the
You want to see
messiness
the
of,
villains.
yeah, yeah, everything. Yeah.
I've enjoyed all of them in one way or another. And that's how I look at a lot. A movie has to be really bad for me to be like, this is terrible.
Yeah.
But I will find the fun. There's only been like three movies in my entire life where I'm like, this is so bad. That was Catwoman, Madame Web, and there was I think this movie called, it wasn't My Bloody Valentine, but it was made in the early 2000s. It was a horror movie called My Valentine or something like that, or Valentine's Day, and it was just terrible. And those are the only three. Everything else I could find some kind of fun in it.
Yeah.
As for my favorite Batman movie, I gotta give it to The Dark Knight, you know?
Yes.
I just have to. It was phenomenal seeing it in the theater. I saw it. I knew some theater employees, so we actually saw it the day before it came out, and I see it with a whole group of people that all knew each other. So
Yeah.
we cheered loudly and stuff like that, and that was the way to see it.
Yeah, man, Nolan, those three movies were so good because they were so insular, and you didn't have to worry about the grander scheme of everything because now everybody just compares everything to the previous thing or to what everyone else is doing. But I think in the end, I just kind of want to see Batman do Batman things. In the same way, when I watch, the Sonic the Hedgehog movies, I just want to see Sonic the Hedgehog go really fast and Knuckles and Amy and Tails and the rest of them.
That's it. Well, it's like the new Mortal Kombat. They actually got pretty brutal with the
Yeah.
fatalities. Like, yeah, that's what we wanted to see. It's I'm not trying to dive into the world of the Mortal Kombat universe.
Mhm.
You really think about when it's created, it's not like they created this big world that they in their own minds are like, this is going to carry three movies, different animations, an
Yeah.
entire YouTube series. They're like, well, we just put cool stuff together.
Yeah.
And worked out.
It's so funny you mentioned that. I just watched it yesterday, and it was so fantastic because I watched the first one again, and then I was reminded of how much I love that fight between Sub-Zero and Scorpion in that ice dungeon, and then they have Johnny Cage being Johnny Cage. Although I will say the only negative I will say is and they're not afraid to kill main characters, which I loved. But I'll only say that Johnny Cage is supposed to be with Sonya, and they're supposed to have a kid. Carl Urban is 54 years old, and God bless him and everything. He did a great job. I love that guy, but he should not. They don't. I don't want to see that older man with a woman who is probably closer to 35.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, I could see that. That's so funny. Well, who knows? Who knows if it goes that route? But I will semi agree with yeah, it's like, oh, Johnny Cage is supposed to be a little bit younger. I get the idea that they were like, well, we're gonna make him an X star from the 80s or the
Yeah.
90s films. Um, and he did a great job, but yeah, you're probably right. They could have found somebody.
And also his accent was seeping through the entire time.
Yeah, a
It's
little
like
bit it
Johnny's
would
supposed
come
to be
out.
American.
Yeah, it would come out every now and then. It's such an interesting time with film right now. Like I saw The Odyssey, and as much of a spectacle as it was, I was like, I could have done without three of the A-listers. It gives somebody else the part. I don't want to see every famous person.
Yeah.
As much as I see Tom Holland and Zendaya. in so many internet clips. It's like I don't need to see them in a movie anymore together.
Yeah.
Keep them separated because I don't want to like, oh, that's Tom Holland. Oh, that's Matt Damon. Oh, that's like, oh my God, it was just too much to me. That
That's
was my
exactly what
complaint.
happened. Yeah, on I saw it on Friday morning, and I was perplexed because I didn't know the entire cast list. And I mean, obviously, you knew like I knew the bigger people like Lupita and Zendaya and
Yes.
Matt and Tom and Anne, but then other people would pop up, and I went, "This is distracting. Like this is too
Yeah,
much."
John Bur I can't say his name, Berthol, John, him popping up. I'm like, I mean, he's a great actor,
Yeah,
but there's nobody else?
yeah. For like 2 seconds at a time too. Like Benny
Yeah.
Safdie was one of the husbands of Lupita Nyong'o's characters.
Yeah, and
Like it was crazy.
I didn't even know really. I came in late, so I think he already had the helmet on the whole time.
Yeah.
And I didn't know till later on. We showed up, we bought tickets at the wrong theater and showed up like maybe about 10 minutes late. Missed the entire beginning with, I guess, Travis Scott was a poet.
Yeah.
Missed all that, and I was like, well, all right, I'm sure we get the idea. I went to
Yeah.
high school.
Yeah, I went to high school. There was in my showing as again Friday morning, 11 a.m. There was a guy drinking tall boys the entire time. He cracked and he was already drunk because I ran into him by accident, and he was already drunk by the time the movie started. And then he just went through another three tall boys, and I went, buddy, whatever you're going through, I hear you and I see you, but you need to slow down.
Maybe he was on that journey himself.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what? I will say this. I applaud people that could laugh out loud at anything, movies, comedy shows. Thank God for people that laugh out loud. The world needs more of them. People that are actually surprised by anything. And I was sitting next to two guys, like I'm stupid when it comes to movies. It takes me about six times to really just catch everything.
Uh-huh.
Um, and I heard them laughing at little parts of the Odyssey, which I was like, oh, that is kind of humorous. But in my mind, I'm like, my brain can't comprehend to laugh at this classical piece of literature, but they did, and I'm like, damn, I wish I could enjoy it that way.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
I wish I
a
was that cultured.
It's look, it's a great poem, and I enjoyed my time with it in high school because I remember like pretty much all the big stuff from high school. But if you saw the movie, you get the big, the whirlpool, the sirens, all the different stuff. It's there. The context is there.
It's there,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Nick, I don't want to take up too much more of your time. This has been so great. You're a very
Yeah.
fascinating comedian. I love the things that you've built, and I can't wait to see what else you do.
Me too, man. I hope I could see what I do too. I mean, it's comedy right now is an interesting place. I think every industry is an interesting place. Entertainment, since I'm in that world, I kept saying it since I've said it years ago, and I feel like 2028, when it comes to film, is going to be um the we're going to see what the byproduct of these 2 years are creating, which is independent filmmakers are on the rise.
Yeah.
You see it with Obsession and the back rooms, and audiences are kind of like, I do want to see movies without a familiar face. I just want
Yeah.
to live in that world. And I kept telling friends, I'm like, 2028, you're going to see a lot more of that. You're going to see like I think in my mind, the resurgence of the 90s type of era with film where it was
Mm,
like all these movies where you're like, oh my God, it's not based on IP, it's original stories.
yeah.
And I kind of feel like with stand up, at a certain point, I applaud all the guys that are doing arenas and things like that, but that's not comedy.
No.
Arena
No.
is not stand-up comedy. It's a small room with a low ceiling where it's an intimate, controlled place, and that's really the electricity of comedy. You can't get that
Yeah.
in a big venue. It's
Exactly.
so much more electric when it's in a small place with 200 people. And I hope people find that again and love it again. And I think they will, because with every time that an art pops, it opens up a new fan base. The fan base consumes, and then they're like, I want to see more. And then
Right.
they go and they find it. Like I tell people, I'm a big hip hop fan, but the only way that I got into like Wu-Tang and Biggie and all that is I had to listen to MC Hammer. I had to hear MC Hammer first.
Yeah.
You know, he was the gateway. Because that was enough pop and enough like fun for me to be like, I like this art form. Let
Hmm.
me go discover more, you
Right.
know? And
Yeah.
I think that's what's going to happen with stand up is that there's a whole new generation. It's like I like this event. I like feeling this way and laughing. I wonder what else I could go find. And we'll see. I don't know.
Exactly. Yeah. That's why, I hate networking. I hate saying that. But whenever I see somebody on Instagram, comedians who follow each other, then that's the way that I think more people that is a way, not it's not the way. It's a way that people can get more experienced and learning which comedians to pay attention to and which ones are worth like listening to and following and just enjoying.
Yeah. And hopefully whoever, hopefully the by that 2028 there will be enough of those fans to come see me so then I can record another special and
Yeah.
and
Hell yeah,
at
dude.
least have 30 people there that want
Hey, 30 is good. 30 is a good number.
it's a good number. It's like, all right, that's enough. That's enough to be inside of the audience. That's my own Trojan horse. 30 of my own fans just sat in different places laughing hysterically will make
Yeah.
the other audience be like, well, there's got to be something here. These people are loving it, you
Yes. Yes, dude, Nick, that's perfect. That's a great way to end it. Thank you again, man.
know?
You're a charming fella. I loved it.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. And it was great talking to you. You are also charming.
I'll do my best. All right. Well, I'll see you and I'll post this next week, I think, but
Okay.
definitely I'll let you know.
All right. Thank you so
All
much. All
right.
right.
See ya.
You have a good day.
You too.
Bye-bye.